everyone, and welcome to another Fish Friday. Today we are live on location. We had some technical difficulties, but we're up and rolling now. We are at Patterson Creek. I'm Kat, and I am the outreach coordinator with Ontario Streams. And this is Maddie, our project biologist. And today is Earth Day, so we are out here looking at some of the previous work that we have done to help improve our aquatic habitats here in the Greater Toronto Area. Behind me is Patterson Creek, which is a tributary of the Rouge River. This isn't necessarily home to Atlantic salmon, which of course are our species that we are talking about through these Fish Fridays. However, this kind of work that we have behind us is work that helps improve our stream water quality. It helps reduce erosion, creates fish habitat. So lots of good things happening here, but just not necessarily for Atlantic salmon in this stretch of stream. So as you can kind of see here, we've got all of this like bundled woody material. So Maddie, as our project biologist, can you explain what's going on here?
Yes, so Ontario Streams, when we're doing our restoration work in the streams, we try to follow an approach called natural channel design. So that's a way to emulate nature and try to make the stream bank what it should be for this location. So in this case, we decided to build something called a brush bundle. So it's usually we gather large woody material. So in this case, we cut down some Manitoba maple and some European buckthorn. That's an invasive species. And we're using that material into the erosion scar in this bank, and we're anchoring it in. So this helps to protect the stream bank from further erosion. So if you can hear in the background, you hear some babbling brook and the water's moving quite fast. And as it's flowing, it's hitting this bank right here. And you can see some exposed roots of the trees. So we're trying to slow down that impact of the water with our brush bundle here. And that brush bundle, it's also being used to regrade the bank. So as that sediment from up top falls down into the brush bundle, it slowly gets stronger and vegetation will actually start to establish itself.
Can you talk more about erosion?
Yes.
How does that happen? Why is it not so good?
So in the GTA, there's a lot of erosion in our little urban streams. So we have a lot of these impervious surfaces, they're called. So things like parking lots and roofs in the cities, they don't allow the storm water to absorb down into the soil and go through that filtration before they get into the stream. So instead, it's running off of that pavement and it's going straight into the stream, and it's bringing in sediments and materials, and it's also moving a lot faster because it's just a higher volume. So now all that water is starting to break down the sides of the stream bank, and you see even more sediment in the water. And it's a little cloudy in here today because we've had some rain yesterday, so there's more water running through. But that's a little bit of extra sediment in the water right now.
And sediment is like that soil and sand.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when we sometimes see that like chocolate milk color in the water, which we know can be a problem when it's around for a while. Sometimes it's natural to have a little bit of sand and soil and a little bit of that chocolate milk color, but we want to see that clear up within a few days because we have a lot of fish, including salmon and red-side dace, who rely on their eyes to catch their prey. So as soon as we get all of that really chocolate milk, murky colors, they can't see anything, and it makes it much harder for them to try and eat. So when we've got these structures, Maddie, like what's going to happen over time?
Over time, the goal is that these structures are dense enough that they collect material running in the stream and also from above on the bank, and it will slowly fill in and become the new stream bank, and it will have vegetation growing on it with roots in it, so it's nice and strong and just helping with that erosion from happening in the stream.
So those roots of the new plants that end up filling in, they'll be holding on to that soil, keeping it nice and safe where it belongs in our riverbanks. And those roots are also going to filter the water too, right? To get it clean before it enters underground into the rivers.
Yeah, that's a very important thing, is to make space in our urban areas to catch that storm water instead of going straight into the rivers. It goes through the soil first.
Can you talk about any other things Ontario Streams does to help our environment?
I guess we do our Atlantic salmon stocking. So in the tributaries of these rivers, like the Humber, not in the Rouge, but in the Humber, we'll stock Atlantic salmon fry. So that helps with trying to bring back the population to sustain itself in the wild. And we do some restoration work in Atlantic salmon habitats. So things like this, removing detrimental blockages. So there's a lot of beavers in the area. So they might make an area that the water can't pass, and it will start to flood around and not allow this stream to flow. So we remove those barriers to allow for fish passage.
And sometimes not just the beavers, right? With our urban areas, we end up with so much woody things along here. And you talked about those impervious surfaces. So all of that water that moves along the surfaces carries all these branches and twigs, and those can cause blockages too. It's not all just beavers.
Yeah,
right?
a lot of the dead ash trees, they're in the river, or like willows that have fallen, things like that.
I think also today we're seeing some students out collecting garbage. So Ontario Streams also collects a lot of garbage every year. Last year was over 186 garbage bags, picking up litter from our riparian areas, which is that kind of stretch along the riverbank that ends up getting flooded often during our big rain events, so that garbage can end up in our rivers. So us, as well as many others, are out here collecting garbage. We've also got lots of trees to plant this year. I think we're going to get close to 7,000. Is that right, Maddie?
Yes, that's right. We're planting about 300 today, too.
Yeah, so lots of good things happening here at Ontario Streams, and hopefully you're able to get a little picture of some of this habitat restoration work that we do, trying to help the Atlantic salmon, as well as so many other local native species that need our help. So today on Earth Day, hopefully you'll take some time to consider the environment around us and maybe even take some positive actions to help improve our local environment. I know that we will, as we'll be out planting trees, but there's lots of things that you can do as an individual to making sure that we're recycling, reduce, reuse, recycle. Those 3 R's always important. You can be out. It's a beautiful day and maybe pick up some garbage in your own neighborhood. It's a great day to be outside for sure. And just thinking about how lucky we are to live in an area where we have access to lots of nature and make sure that we are taking care of that nature that we do have here in our urban centers. So if you've got any questions, feel free to write them in the chat and we will get back to you. And we hope you have a great Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.
Bye.